5 CR brands that are better buys than Toyota and Honda. Plus they're cheaper to repair. If you're about to buy a Toyota or Honda because everybody told you it's the safe choice, give me 20 minutes before you sign anything. Because there are 5 brands on sale in America right now that can save you thousands before you even leave the dealership, give you more warranty protection, or make more sense to own once the bills start coming. And number 1? Consumer Reports currently ranks it ahead of both Toyota and Honda overall. Most buyers never even get that far. They walk onto the lot wanting a Corolla, a Civic, a RAV4 or a CRV because they've already heard the same sentence 100 times. Just buy a Toyota. Or you can't go wrong with a Honda. And to be clear, those are good cars. Toyota is currently number 1 in Consumer Reports' new car reliability ranking. Honda is still one of the strongest mainstream brands in America. I'm not here to tell you they're junk. I'm telling you something much more expensive. A good car can still be the wrong deal. Because reliability is only one number. You also pay the purchase price. You pay depreciation. You pay insurance. You pay for the warranty you don't have. And eventually you pay for whatever breaks. So this isn't a brand loyalty contest. We're looking at the actual models where another badge can make more sense than Toyota or Honda once you put price, warranty, mechanical complexity, and ownership costs on the same piece of paper. And one thing before we start. I'm not claiming every car made by these 5 brands costs less to repair than every Toyota or Honda. That's not how cars work. A bad engine in a good brand is still a bad engine. A good engine in an unpopular brand can be one of the best bargains on the lot. We're buying cars here, not logos. Number 5. Mazda. And this is the easy one to start with because Mazda shouldn't really be controversial anymore. People who know cars already understand it. But plenty of buyers still walk into a Toyota or Honda dealership without ever driving one. Take the Mazda 3. Take the CX-5. Especially the naturally aspirated versions. Mazda spent years doing something the rest of the industry increasingly refused to do. They kept a normal-sized gasoline engine without automatically bolting a turbocharger onto everything. That matters. Not because turbochargers are guaranteed to fail. They're not. But if the car doesn't have one, you can never get a turbocharger replacement bill. That's one expensive component deleted before ownership even begins. And that is exactly the kind of engineering decision I like in a car somebody plans to keep. Look at the naturally aspirated Mazda 3. 4-cylinder engine. Conventional gasoline powertrain. No need to squeeze huge power out of tiny displacement. The same general philosophy applies to the non-turbo CX-5. Simple enough that independent shops know them. Common enough that you're not waiting 3 weeks for somebody to figure out what they're looking at. And Mazda's repair record backs up the basic argument. RepairPal currently rates Mazda 4 out of 5 for reliability, with average annual repair and maintenance costs well below the industry-wide average. Now the money. A new Mazda 3 doesn't dramatically undercut a Civic anymore. They're actually priced very close. So if you're shopping brand new, don't expect Mazda to win this argument by $5,000. That's not where the interesting part is. Used. That's where Toyota and Honda's greatest strength can become your biggest problem. Resale value. Everybody wants the clean used Corolla. Everybody wants the clean Civic. Everybody wants the used RAV4. And because everybody wants them, sellers know exactly what the badge is worth. I've seen buyers spend serious money on a 4 or 5-year-old Toyota because they were afraid of buying anything else. At that point, you're paying a reliability premium on a car that already has years and miles on it. Mazda doesn't always carry the same premium, which means the second owner can get something interesting. Similar age, similar mileage, good mechanical reputation, and often less competition from everybody else standing in the used car aisle. That's value. But here's the honest part. Do not hear Mazda and assume everything with the badge gets a free pass. The newer CX-70 and CX-90 have not had the same spotless reliability story as Mazda's older, simpler products. New platforms. More complexity. More technology. That's exactly why you research the car, not the badge. If low-risk ownership is the goal, I'd rather start with a proven naturally aspirated Mazda 3 or CX-5 than blindly buy the newest, most complicated thing Mazda makes. That's number 5. A fairly easy alternative. Number 4 is where the argument starts getting uncomfortable for Toyota and Honda buyers. Because this brand can sell you the car for less, and then give the original owner almost twice the powertrain warranty. Number 4. Kia. Forget the Kia your uncle jokes about from 20 years ago. We're buying a car in 2026. And right now, Kia's strongest argument isn't that it has magically become Toyota. It's that Kia is willing to put more of the risk on paper. Take the K4. The The starting price is around $22,000. A base 2026 Honda Civic starts closer to $25,000. You're already talking about a difference of more than $2,000 before taxes, accessories, financing, or dealer nonsense gets involved. $2,000. Before you've changed one tire. Before you've done one oil service. Before anything has broken. That's real money. Then look at warranty coverage. Kia gives the original purchaser a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Basic new vehicle coverage runs 5 years or 60,000 miles. Honda and Toyota? Their standard new vehicle coverage is shorter, and their powertrain warranty is 5 years or 60,000 miles. That difference matters if you're the kind of buyer who keeps a car. Because when people talk about repair cost, they usually ask the wrong question. They ask, how much does this repair cost? The first question should be, who pays for it? If a covered powertrain component fails while the Kia is still inside that original owner warranty, your out-of-pocket calculation looks very different. And Kia understands the showroom game better than almost anyone. You sit in the K4. Look at the screen. Look at the equipment. Look at the warranty. Then walk next door and price the equivalent Japanese car. That's where the conversation changes. Now the honest part. Kia has scars. Real ones. There are older Kia and Hyundai engines I would research very carefully before handing anybody money. There were recalls. There were failures. There were years that damaged the brand's reputation for good reason. You don't erase history because the new car has a big screen. And that 10-year powertrain warranty has rules. The full benefit is especially important for the original buyer and certain certified pre-owned vehicles. Do not buy a random used Kia and assume you're automatically inheriting the exact same protection the first owner had. Read the coverage. Check the VIN. Check the service history. Exact engine. Exact year. Always. But if you're buying new and planning to keep the car for 8 or 10 years, Kia becomes much harder to dismiss. Lower starting price. Longer factory protection. Plenty of equipment. And RepairPal still places Kia well above average for reliability. Toyota may still win resale. Honda may still have the cleaner long-term reputation. But Kia can put thousands back in your pocket before those advantages even matter. And if Kia still feels too easy, number 3 is where a lot of people are going to tell me I've lost my mind. Because this brand has one mechanical reputation that scared buyers for years. And that fear is exactly why the right car can be cheap. Number 3. Nissan. There it is. CVT. I can already see the comments. And yes, Nissan earned part of that reputation. There are older Nissan CVTs I would not touch without service history and a proper inspection. If you're looking at one and nobody can tell you whether the transmission has ever been serviced? Oh, I'm serious. Don't buy a mystery transmission because the payment is cheap. But here's where buyers make the opposite mistake. A company has a bad reputation in one area, so they decide every car that company builds must be bad forever. That's how bargains get created. Look at the Sentra. A current Sentra starts below the Civic. Not by $10,000. But enough that you're beginning ownership with money still in your bank account. And Nissan is currently inside Consumer Reports top 10 for new car reliability.
Para que saibamos quando eu enviar novo vídeo. Para a análise aprofundada de hoje, daremos uma olhada detalhada no Nissan Sentra Senhor 2026.
That's where I start paying attention. Because the market doesn't price cars based only on what they are today. It prices them based on what people remember. And sometimes what people remember is 15 years old. Now the mechanical part. This is where I'd be very specific. I would not tell somebody, go buy any Nissan. That's useless advice. If you're buying used, transmission history is non-negotiable on CVT-equipped models. If the fluid was ignored, if the car was abused, if the seller has no paperwork, the discount isn't big enough.
Certifique-se de ativar
But
as
take a clean
notificações
car,
para que saibamos quando eu
proper
enviar novo.
maintenance, good inspection, right price. Now compare it to a used Corolla or Civic where the seller is asking thousands more because everybody already trusts the badge. This is the question I want you to ask. How much reliability premium are you paying? $3,000? $4,000? Why? Because if you're spending $4,000 extra today to avoid the possibility of a future repair, you need to ask how much repair $4,000 actually buys. That's not permission to buy a bad car. It's permission to do math. And Nissan's current RepairPal numbers aren't Toyota or Honda cheap. That's important. Honda is one of the cheapest major brands to repair on their data. Toyota is right behind
De
it.
ativar as notificações
Nissan
para que saibamos quando eu enviar novo
So
vídeo.
why is
Para a
Nissan on
análise
this
aprofundada de hoje,
Because better
daremos
buy and
uma olhada
cheapest repair
detalhada
bill
no
are not the
Nissan
same
Sentra
thing.
Senhor
If the purchase
2026.
price is substantially lower, the car is mechanically sound, and the depreciation has already punished the first owner harder than it punished the Toyota owner, the total deal can still work in your favor. That's the whole idea. Buy the discount only when the inspection earns it. And number 2 takes that same value argument, then adds one of the strongest warranties in America. Number 2. Hyundai. This is probably the hardest brand on this list to judge emotionally, because there are 2 Hyundais in people's heads. There's the old Hyundai people remember, and there's the company selling cars today. Those aren't the same thing. Start with the Elantra. A 2026 Elantra starts at roughly $22,800. The Civic starts at $24,695. Nearly $2,000 gone before you've even negotiated. Then look at SUVs. The Tucson starts under $30,000. The 2026 Honda CR-V starts above $30,000. The new RAV4 starts even higher. Again, Hyundai begins the conversation by leaving money in your bank account. Then the warranty shows up. 5 years or 60,000 miles of basic new vehicle coverage. And for the original owner, 10 years or 100,000 miles of limited powertrain coverage. Toyota and Honda's standard powertrain coverage? 5 years or 60,000. That's 40,000 miles of additional original owner powertrain protection on the Hyundai. Now stop thinking like a car fan for a second. Think like somebody paying the bills. 2 vehicles. One costs less to buy. One gives you more factory coverage. And current quality data says Hyundai is no longer sitting 20 places behind the Japanese brands. Consumer Reports currently has Hyundai inside its overall top 10. That changes the argument. Not because Hyundai suddenly became immortal. Nothing is. But the gap between the reputation and the actual product is getting smaller while the price gap still exists. That's interesting. Take the Tucson. The regular gasoline version uses a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine. Honda's gasoline CR-V uses a smaller turbocharged engine. That doesn't automatically make the Hyundai better. The CR-V is an excellent vehicle. But if your goal is to keep a car 10 years and avoid unnecessary complexity, I understand why somebody would prefer the engine that doesn't need a turbocharger. One less major component. Simple argument. Now imagine 2 buyers. Buyer 1 pays more because he believes the badge guarantees cheaper ownership. Buyer 2 buys the less expensive car, keeps $2,000 in savings, follows the maintenance schedule and has longer factory powertrain protection. 3 years later, neither car has broken. Who made the smarter purchase? The first buyer paid for peace of mind. The second buyer still has the money. That's the part people forget. A repair that never happens doesn't magically refund the extra money you paid at the dealership. But here's the honest part. Hyundai's long powertrain warranty is not the same for every future owner. For the original owner, it's a major advantage. For subsequent owners, the coverage changes. Know what you're buying. And yes, older Hyundai products include engines and model years that deserve caution. This is not a history erasing contest. It's exactly the opposite. History is why you check the exact engine, exact year, exact recalls, exact service records. The Hyundai badge alone doesn't tell you enough. Neither does the Toyota badge. That's why Hyundai is number 2. Price, warranty, a much stronger current product, and enough distance from its old reputation that the market can still underestimate it. But number 1 doesn't win with the longest warranty. It doesn't win because it's the cheapest car here. And it definitely does not win because repairs are always cheaper than Toyota or Honda. It wins because the hardest current independent comparison puts it above both of them overall. And that changes the entire safe choice argument. Number 1. Subaru. If that surprised you, good. Because this is exactly why you look at current numbers instead of repeating what everybody said 10 years ago. Consumer Reports 2026 Automotive Brand Report Card ranks Subaru number 1 overall. Honda is 4th. Toyota is 5th. Read that again. The brand most Americans automatically put behind Toyota and Honda is currently ahead of both on Consumer Reports' overall brand score. And this isn't one reliability number. Their overall ranking combines road test performance, predicted reliability, owner satisfaction, and safety. On new car reliability alone, Toyota is number 1. Subaru is number 2. So no, Toyota hasn't suddenly forgotten how to build reliable cars. That's not the story. The story is that Subaru is sitting close enough mechanically and beating them strongly enough elsewhere that dismissing it as the other Japanese brand makes no sense anymore. Take the Crosstrek. For 2026, the starting price is around $27,000. Not bargain basement cheap. But all-wheel drive is built into the basic Subaru proposition. That's important. Because if you're comparing it with a Toyota or Honda and you actually need AWD, compare the price after both vehicles are equipped the way you'll use them. Don't compare a front-wheel drive sticker to an all-wheel drive car and pretend that's a fair comparison. Snow. bad roads, rural driving, mountain weather. If AWD was already on your shopping list, Subaru isn't adding a feature you weren't going to buy. It's putting it into the package from the beginning. And Subaru has another advantage buyers underestimate: consistency. Their engineering philosophy changes more slowly than some manufacturers. Platforms evolve. Powertrains get refined. They don't need to reinvent the car every 3 years just so the brochure looks exciting. And Consumer Reports has repeatedly pointed out that conservative redesigns tend to help reliability. Slow evolution is boring. Boring is often good. Now the honest part. This is where I need to be very clear. If your only question is which brand has the lowest average repair and maintenance cost, Subaru does not beat Toyota and Honda. RepairPal's brand-wide data puts Subaru noticeably higher. Toyota and Honda are difficult to beat on average repair cost. So why is Subaru number one in a video about better buys? Because ownership isn't one number. If you need the capability Subaru gives you, if the specific Subaru scores well, if you value standard AWD, strong current reliability, owner satisfaction and safety, then paying extra for a Toyota simply because you were told Toyota is automatically the smarter choice stops making sense. That's the lesson. Not Subaru is cheaper in every possible way. It's Subaru can now beat the automatic Toyota-Honda decision on the total package. And there is one more thing. Toyota and Honda resale values are excellent. That's good when you're selling. It isn't always good when you're buying used. A 5-year-old Toyota can still carry an asking price that assumes the next owner is willing to pay for 10 more years of perfect reliability that haven't happened yet. Sometimes that's justified. Sometimes you're just paying reputation tax. A Subaru with the right history, the right engine, and the right price can give you much of the same peace of mind without competing against every Toyota buyer in America for the same used car. And that is why Subaru is number one. Not because Toyota is bad. Not because Honda is bad. Because the safe choice is no longer a two-brand conversation. Let's run them back. Number 5. Mazda. The easy alternative. Proven naturally aspirated models, good reliability, and often a more attractive used price because the badge doesn't carry the full Toyota-Honda premium. Number 4. Kia. Thousands less on some comparable new cars, more standard equipment, and a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty for qualifying original buyers. Number 3. Nissan. The controversial one. Buy the wrong used Nissan and that discount can disappear fast. Buy the right one with the right history and the reputation penalty can work in your favor. Number 2. Hyundai. Lower prices on key models, substantially longer original owner warranty coverage, and a current brand position that is much stronger than a lot of buyers realize. And number 1. Subaru. Number 1 overall in Consumer Reports' current brand ranking, number 2 in new car reliability, and proof that Toyota and Honda no longer own the entire safe choice category. Now here's the part that matters more than the ranking. Toyota and Honda are still excellent. If you buy a Corolla, maintain it, and keep it 15 years, I'm not going to tell you you've made a bad decision. If you buy a Civic because you love the way it drives and you know it will hold value, good choice. A RAV4? Good vehicle. CR-V? Same thing. The mistake isn't buying Toyota or Honda. The mistake is assuming they're the correct answer before you've looked at anything else. Because once you make that assumption, the seller has you. You stop comparing. You stop calculating. You stop asking why the 3-year-old Toyota costs almost as much as somebody else's new car. You stop asking what the warranty actually covers. And you stop asking the question that matters. What am I getting for the extra money? Before you buy anything, write down 5 things. Purchase price, warranty coverage, insurance, expected maintenance and repair costs, and resale value. Then look up the exact engine and transmission in the exact year you're buying. Not, are Hondas reliable? That's useless. Ask, is this engine reliable? Does this transmission have a known weakness? What is the expensive failure cost? Is this the first year of a redesign? Has this car actually been maintained? That's how you buy a car. Because the most expensive sentence in car buying is, everybody says these are reliable. Everybody isn't writing the check. You are. So tell me this. Your money. Your driveway. 10 years. What are you buying? Toyota? Honda? Mazda? Kia? Nissan? Hyundai? Or Subaru? And which one on this list would you refuse to own no matter how cheap it was? Put it in the comments. Because I guarantee that argument is going to expose exactly how powerful brand reputation really is. If this helped you look past the badge, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. By the engineering. By the numbers. And let somebody else pay for the logo.